Belinda and HarperAudio Australia present this unabridged recording of Head Cases, written by John Mcmahon and read by Will Damron. From my mother, Margaret Betty Mcmahon, her strength, joy, and ability to love are like a beautiful hurricane. It is better to be lucky, but I would rather be exact. Then when luck comes, you are ready. Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. Chapter 1. Riddles. Those are my specialty. That is, when I am not studying patterns or decoding enigmas. Some might say that solving puzzles is all I'm good for. That leaving my desk in the Jacksonville office of the FBI to interact with real people is not the best use of my time or talent. And I would agree with them. I stood beside my rented Toyota Avalon and stared at the yellow, one-story ranch home. "Hella impossible," a voice came from over my shoulder. I glanced at my partner. Cassie Pardo is a petite 5'3", but has the propulsive energy of 1,000 suns. She also uses the slang of a 19-year-old. "Nothing's impossible," I said. Cassie closed the manila folder that her head had been buried in since we left DFW Airport. As we drove here, she had been handicapping the odds on what we were about to see. 1 in a million? 1 in 2 million? A deputy walked over. He was 40-ish with a comb-over the color of wheat and an Adam's apple that protruded 14 millimeters from his larynx. "Ryan Hollings." He reached out his hand. I stared at it. Over 200 bacteria thrive on each square inch of our palms. "Gardner Camden," I said, shaking. I'm not OCD, I just know things like this. I pointed at the yellow house. "Your victim," I said. "How exactly was he found?" "An employee from Ashland Gas was checking the meter," Hollings said. "Glanced through the slider and saw blood. Called us." Cassie popped a piece of chewing gum in her mouth. She was 29 and wore a tailored black jacket over gray slacks. "And you ran the man's prints," she said. "Saw Agent Camden's name?" Hollings nodded, and we followed him across the lawn. "I Googled you two as I waited," he said. "Saw you were the ones who found that 6-year-old in those caves down in Sonora. That was big news here in Texas." The case he referred to had been solved 13 months ago, with Cassie and me at the helm. "Not sure if you remember how crazy that was," Hollings kept up. "Folks were setting up phone banks and doing grid searches. You two came along and bam!" "There were traces of an anhydrous carbonate on his father's shoe," I said. Hollings scrunched up his face. "The kid rescued from those caves," Cassie clarified. "There are only 9 places in the U.S. where that mineral has been mined," I said. "Only 1 in Texas." "Well, goddamn, man," Hollings shook his head. "That's what I'm talking about." The deputy had a deep voice, and I pictured a book. A Study of Laryngeal Prominence, page 52, right side. An illustration of an Adam's apple, along with a statistic about baritones. We got to the front door, and Cassie took out 2 sets of purple nitrile gloves. She snapped a pair over her olive skin and retied her brown hair into a tight ponytail. "No one's been inside?" she asked, handing me the other set of gloves. "Just me and medical," Hollings said. He pushed the screen door open with the steel toe of his boot, and I studied him. 2 inches shorter than me and stocky. I have more of an athletic build, 6'1" with curly brown hair and blue eyes. Cassie pointed at the open door, her lips forming a smile. "Age before beauty." I evaluated the statement, then walked exactly 5 feet inside and stopped. The place had an open floor plan with an island situated in the center of a combined kitchen and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?